Welcome back to another movie. As you may see, we are back with the Fayee FY004A. So I'm a bit sick, so my voice may not be perfect, but I will try to explain what I'm doing here. So as you may know, I want to upgrade a little bit this car, and this is what's all about. Now, as you may see, there is no rear wheel wheels on the rear axle. Let me set it like that, because I was testing the improved design of the leaf springs that I designed for WPL, and of course they work with the Fayee as well. So I did print it and test it, and it's now working much better, because the old design was more square. It was a low resolution. Now it's much more smooth, and it's much more better for the printing. As you may see, it's working fine. That's because these two parts are pivoting, I think they call it, are just bending to the back, allowing to the leaf spring to extend. And here's the compare to the old ones. Old ones are working, but first of all is that annoying clicking sound, and this design allows to much more smooth moving than this one. Of course I will put a link in the description to this one, but this is the V5 version, the version 5. So you need to see on the site. If I already upload this, I will upload with the movie this version. So if there is still V3 and V4, because these black parts are still V3, because they are working fine, and this one is just V5, but I will rename all the parts to the V5, so you need to check that. So as you can see, I did mount it, but I will take this off. Now I'm not able, I don't know if I have the ruler in here. I will need to search for one, because for this design you need this screws. Let me take one. I need to find my ruler to show the length. Those are M2 screws. They are a little bit longer than they should be, just because if the holes on the mounts will not grab the screw enough, you can always put a nut on the other side. I will in a few minutes search for the ruler to tell you. I think it's 20 millimeters and 10 is the minimum, but I will just test that. So I will take this one off like the all others, because I need to replace the leaf springs. Also I will be locking the differential, so I normally use a hot glue, because I can always take it out. Someone in the comment section told me to use a differential grease or oil, depending how they pronounce it, but he told me 15,000 if I remember. I don't know, I have a million, if I not wrong, million CST. It means it's really hard. It's really not a oil, it's a grease. It's hardly moving around in this container. That should lock the differential, because now it's open and wheels can spin like this. And because it's a crawler, I don't want that. I really want to have it locked, or just not to spin so easy. That's why I have this. Also another thing, let me get the screw out if I'm able. Okay, then stay there. I will be modifying these wheels, because they are too soft for me. I don't want to have it that soft. That's why I will add a foam inside, like I did in the WPL. If I remember, 2 WPL cars now have this foam. And of course I will glue the rims to the tires, just to keep it on the on the rims and not slip it like this. So that's the second, that's the third upgrade, and the last upgrade will be putting inside a figure. Of course, this one is a desert figure. This one is, let's say, a forest military car, but this one I already have it, so I will use this one. And off the camera I will work on the doors on the other side. I will put a little piece of metal just to have it close, because I did get it with a damaged part in the doors, and they doesn't sell the doors, so I need to fix that. It will not be visible from outside, but when you open it will be a small metal part, but I mostly have it closed, so that's not a big problem. So in this moment I will start with the taking off all the axles. You need to be careful when taking off the drive shafts, because there is a worm screw on the drive shafts, and when you unscrew it, I have a small wrench. It is somewhere. Okay, I will find it later. So you need to unscrew this part in here, and be careful when you're taking out, because you need to take out it fully. There is a special spot on the axle where the screw holds it, so the axles are really much better made. And I will need to take off on both sides and on the rear, and take the axles off, and then try to figure out how they are facing. I know this one should be right. Let's see us. So it is the right angle is reverse. Yes, this one is right, but I will need to take it off. But this one is easy, because it's there is on one side only the out or the ingoing drive shaft, so this one will be much harder. But if I replace the leaf springs on one side, and on the other side it will be a little bit easy, because only this side I will need to rotate it. Okay, so let me take this one off. I will speed up a camera and just show you how it's taken off, and find the ruler to check the screws. Okay, so I have it out. As you may notice, I did fight with the drive shafts. They are really tight in there. Even without the screws, I don't think they will move. Now, first of all, I think I will put the grease inside. It's the first time I'm using this, so I don't know if this will work, but I really want to test it. I think I will open on both sides and just put it as much as I can fit inside, then close it and test on one axle. If the one axle will if this will not work on the one axle, I will just I think I will just clean it and put a hot glue inside on the gears that will lock them not permanently, because in difference between using a glue and this, I can always take the hot glue out and just have it a normal in a open state. And if you use hot glue, it's just permanent, because you will need to break this to get it to open it back. Okay, so I just forgot I need to disassemble this. Okay, let me speed it out. Okay, so we are inside. So now they move really easy. To compare it, I need to know how they move. Let's look inside. So the just plastic gears inside, nothing too special. I will use, let me get it, a piece of card just to put it inside. Maybe I will cut it a little more, because there is not much space in there. I always use old gift cards. You have it a full box. Okay, so let's see what. So clear. Look, it's looking like there is nothing inside. That's amazing. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's. Look at this. It's really like a plastic or like glue. Oh, come on. Quite annoying one. Come on. Okay, I have it. Let's put it inside. It will not be easy because it's so thick. Need much more. So this one is a little bit too thick, I think, but it will be hard to. Okay, I have it. I think this amount will be enough. Lock it. I ate a little bit more. A little bit, I mean. This will take some time. Okay, I have it. I think this amount should work fine. Maybe a bit too much, so let's take it. Okay, let's see now. I need to take them inside. Oh, that's hard. Okay, so that's what I wanted. They will not move at all. So when you choose them, you can take with more not solid ones. So this number means how much solid this is. So it means how hard this one is. So this is 1 million, if I'm not wrong. I may be wrong. But if you choose a half, so 5,000, so this will be a half more liquid than this one. So let me assemble it. So I got a little bit in here, so let me clean it. I don't want to lock this bearings. Okay, so let me put the screws back. So it is a nice idea. It means someone watched my movie and oh wait, I need to match it with the holes. Where is the nearest hole? Is here. There's a thunderstorm outside. Okay, so they need to be flat because of course this thing spins. Okay, so now let me see, it's like this. No, the other way, like this. The small one is in here, second small one is in here, and something is not fitting inside. Oh wait, they need to move this. Oh come on. It's all covered in oil, so it's quite hard to grab it. Let's put it like this, then match it. This one need to be a bit closer. This one is in place. So this idea was from one of the viewers that commented in the last movie about the fire, so I need to thank him. This is a good idea, I never think about it. I'm sorry I don't remember the name, but you can find it in the description of the last movie. So that's a really nice idea he got. I always use the hot glue and that also worked. The oil is everywhere. So now I have no idea what the directions will. So now I need to match the direction. So spinning right is spinning backward. So if I put this in here, spinning right is spinning in the front, so you need to rotate the axle, and now spinning right is rotating backward. So now it's working. If one of the axle is spinning in different direction, just rotate it like this, and that will change the direction of the axles. So mine is like this, and that should work fine. Now I will just assemble this. Let me close it like that, and I will assemble it back. Okay, so I did assemble it back. As you may see, I did check again if what's the direction of the rotating. So when I rotate it like this, they spin back. So if I take this one, it was rotating like this. So when I rotate this one in the same direction, it is rotating back. So this one is ready. I will put it to the side. Now I will do the same with both of these ones. I will not show it because it's pointless, and this will take me some time. I need to do it before this piece of plastic will sink inside. It is slowly getting down. So I will just take it apart and do the same thing. It is you are able still to spin it, but it's really hard. It means the grease is working fine. So and this one is quite good for me. This one is, as you may see, I can spin it with no problem. I will take it out and do the same on both. Don't worry if you don't know how I did put the leaf springs there. I will show you that when I finish with the differential, and I will show you how my design is made and how it's fitting in the car. So let me work on those both. Okay, so I finished locking all the diff locks in the axles. Now is the second upgrade, and that is the leaf springs. Here are the original leaf springs. Here are the original parts. Let me get to the same. They are like this, and one side is locking like this, and on the other side there is a screw, in the other direction, screw holding like this. So my design is looking like this compared to this one. So this plastic part is staying with my design, because I'm using it to hold all the leaf spring. I can design this, but this one works fine, so and there is no need. Wait, I think this one needs to be a little tighter. Okay, so this part will stay. Also, these screws are working fine, so you don't where did that go? You don't need to replace them. These two parts will go. You don't need this. You will need the screws from it, because that one also work with my design. Now there are two mounts like this. I describe it as A and B. They are just mirrored, the same part but mirrored. So that's the main difference. As you can see, let me set like this. See, they are just mirrored. So these two parts, and there are two other parts. Let me find, like this. One have a square in here, and the other one is round. I could make this as a one piece, but because this little part in here, that is this part, will hang in the air, will be in the air, and that will make it hard to print. That's why it's printed like this, and this worked so far. That's why I did it as a separate part. Also, you may select if you want the solid part on the front or on the back, and same as the moving part. So this is much more convenient design. First of all, let me get the car closer. Come here. First of all, you need to take wait, I will get the little higher, like this. First of all, you need to get the old parts, put it flat, the old mounts off. Just unscrew it, keep the screws, you will need them, and again take this one out. Of course, I will not take them all, I will just show on one side. To take them out, you need to bend it like this. Sometimes bend this metal beam a little to yourself, because they have a little sticking out part. My design doesn't have that, so it's just holding by the screw. Now get a 2mm drill, and what you need to do is, first of all, never drill in the drilling direction like this. So that's the normal direction. Always drill in opposite side, the counterclockwise direction. Why? Because if you will start to drill with normal direction, the drill will grab this plastic and rip it out. That's why I'm drilling in the opposite direction like this. And you need to drill only this hole on the flat side, because that will make it easy to put the screw inside. Let's drill it. And that's all. On the second one. And that's ready. This will allow the screw to go freely. About the screw, I got my roller. I have black ones. They really it's not easy to see them on the mount. That's why I get black. So they are 12 millimeters. Not counting the head, only counting the thread. It's 20 millimeters. You can use 10 millimeters. It will be let me show you. It's like this. As you may see, let me show the finger. It's sticking out. So this part is, let me see, about 9 millimeters. So 10 millimeters will stick out a little bit, but I'm using 12 millimeters because I can always put a nut on the other side if the screw will if the holes will wear out and the screw will just fall out. Okay, so now the next part is you need to see where you want the solid part and where you want the moving part. So on the back here I have the moving part and here I have the solid part. Now I can do the solid on the front and the moving on the rear, or I can do in opposite side. Always the flat side goes outside, and the holes like here goes to the end, so they goes like this. Now I need to think how I want to make it. I think I will do the moving part on the front and the solid part on the rear. So it means that I need to put on this one the solid part. Take the sticking part out. This part is sticking out, and slide it inside like this. Now I take the screw and put it in here, taking my favorite screwdriver, and screw it inside. That's why I did only drill the first hole to grab all other holes to make it really tight and just not unscrew. Mostly it's holding without the screw, but it's always better because it will push some force on it. It's still that's quite tight. I did make this hole smaller, and as you can see, it's sticking out. I can always put a nut in here just to make it just to protect it from unscrewing. That's one made. Now you take this part. Of course, kids, if you are young, always take someone elder to drill it, because this part is quite small, and I put it again. So I will drill this part, the sticking out on one side, like this. So sometimes it will take a little more to drill it with the counterclockwise, but it's just taking the material and pushing it through. Not much force, just let it push the material. The drill getting a little hot, and that's melting the plastic and letting the screw pass through. Okay, so now we take another screw. Let me take them out. Because we drilled out, this screw is moving freely in here, and we put this. There is no front and no back on this part, so you just put it as you want, and taking the screwdriver and screwing that inside. Not too tight, because this part needs to move. As you can see, there is enough space for it to move. Of course, this will depend on the printer, so that may change. Now we have this two parts ready, and the next part is to, again, from the flat side, drill out only the outside hole. Okay, I have it. I will need my knife. Oops. Because there is material inside. So actually this actually you don't need to do this, but this will allow me to for much better putting the screw inside, and same on this one. I know this operation may be a bit difficult because it's quite dangerous, because when the drill may hit your fingers, but as you can see, I'm using a slow rotation drill, screwdriver electric, so that's not a big problem. Okay, so here are the two ready parts. Now I can already mount these parts because they are ready. Now the screws, as I said, you can use the original screws, because this part has a closed hole and it will hold fine. I did upgrade this design as a request from someone that told me that they fall out, that's why it's closed now. Okay, so that's mounted. Now about the leaf springs. This is the main with the eyes, like I call it, and there are three more. This is the 30, if I remember, 40 and 50 millimeters long. So my design have a small amount of material in here. It's not smooth, that's why I'm shaving it with the knife. Let me shave it to make it smooth. Yes, that should work. Now the same thing will be with this. You need to drill out these holes. This will take a little longer. Like I said, take your time with this part, because this will depend how smooth everything will work. Now it's quite easy. You take the original screws. You may drill it out, but mostly the screws will just hold it fine, and you put it like this. And to grab it for the screwdriver to hold it, and screw it a little bit to stick out on the other side, you take the longer one, the 50 if I remember, and screw it inside that one, screw it inside that one, then you take another one, again screw it inside, screw it inside on this one. Wait, I will reset my camera, sorry, because it's turning off after 50 minutes if I remember, and screw them back. Okay, now depending on how stiff you want this suspension to be, you can take out one or two leaves, and that will make it more soft. So this will depend from how much stiffer you want it to be. Why this one is... Wait, let me get a knife and clean that one. There's a bit of plastic there. Okay, I will not. Now you take this plastic part, the original one, put it like this, screw it a little bit more, and now we take the axle. You always need to check what's the direction of the rotating. So now when I rotate it like this, it's spinning backward. So I will set it like this. So it means when I spin it like this, it's rotating backwards. So I want it, so if I want them to be the same, I need to mount on this side. Okay, of course you can always change that, so that's not a big problem. And we screw it back. So probably you may use my design as a over design this, so you just rotate this on the other side and make it much more higher if your axles are long enough, and that will still work. I design it as a I design it as a over design. No, probably it will not be enough long to make that. Oh, that doesn't look good. Wait, let me clean it. There's a bit of material in here. I hope I will not destroy it. Sorry, I hit the camera. Yes, maybe that will make it. It's not a big problem because it still will hold it, but that didn't look nice. Okay, so we screw it like this. Whoops. Not too tight because it's still 3D printed. Did I put it right? Wait. I think I put this small one in the wrong direction. Maybe that's why it's... Let me check that. Okay, let me check that. I think I put it in the wrong orientation. I need to unscrew it. Let me see. No, there, right. It's just this bit of material in here that's making problem. This small printer mistake, probably it's choked on the small material. Please don't do this. I'm just stupid enough to use knife like that. don't have any spare one, so I need to clean this one. Okay, let me turn off the camera, this will take a while. Okay, so as you can see, I did fix that part and assembled the second one. Let me see now, in the direction like this. Yeah, so now also it will depend how it's need to be mounted. If I rotate it right like that one, it's spinning backwards, so it's like this. Now let me get everything to the side. It's set like this. I also assembled the second one, the second side, so let me take this one. Now let me take the other side off. I'll leave the screw in here. So they doesn't come out so easy like the front, so you need to bend a little bit this bar and they will come out. My design is not completely not a problem, because you just push it from the top and they will hold like this. It's like this. Now I will put the screw inside. And here it is. Now the next part is to mount the axle. First get a screw, the same one, and screw it like this. I think I did not drill it out, but still it's holding. Yes, I did not drill it out. Depending on printer, on printing settings, etc., this may break or may not break, so that will depend on your printer and how good your prints are. So my apparently it's still holding. I don't know if I will break it. Yes, I did drill this one out, and I did, if I remember, drill this one out. Yes, I did drill it. So now, wait, I will drill it out. I don't want to break it. I just want it to hold on one mount. Like this. Now the second one. That way it's only holding on this side. Okay, let's clean it out. Just a little bit. Okay, now let me put the screw. Let's put the second one in here to back it up so the leaf springs can go inside, and loose the screw. Come on. Now set it like this. Slide the screw inside, because we drill both, the screw will go through. Should go through. And the same thing in the front and on the other side. did not get inside. Yes, so now you just need to screw it inside. And that's ready. So here is the assembled mount. I will set it like this, and as you can see they are moving just to allow for the leaf spring to move. So someone mentioned, let me put it like that, someone mentioned that printed from the PLA didn't last long, so they suggest to print it from the PTEG, if I remember. So that will need to be tested by you, because I'm mostly not much of using this cars. I just like to build it, so I don't know how long they last. It is working, as you can see. Can stand some load. I can always put much more leaves in here, so that may depend on your car, on how much you are using it. Let me check it now. Yes, they spin in the same direction, but for me they in here work fine, so I'm not able to tell you if they will work how long. But if you have a 3D printer, you can always print it. It's very easy to print them, especially now, so you can always print some spares, have for another cars or stuff like that. Okay, so now I will assemble the second one, the last one on the front, assembly the drive shaft, and I will get back to you with the wheels, and we will start to work on the wheels now. Okay, as you can see, I did assembly all. This axle will always move slightly harder because of the mechanism of steering, but JJRC and Fayee have much better design of the steering, because let me try to show it, because of this slider. When it's moving on this slider here. Too bad WPL doesn't have this, because WPL always sending move a little bit to one side, because it's standing on a motor, on a servo arm. So about the leaf springs, one more information. I did design some more versions of it. So this is the single one, as you may already see. I did mount it. There are 3 more just to make it stiffer, because it is really flexible. I did design a double version, triple version, and all-in-one design, but they are so hard that the suspension may not work fully. The double design is still working nice, but because they don't move one to each other, there is not much of movement. The double design is still working, but I will not probably upload this because it's still, the single version is much better than the double one. So this is, as you can see, it's much more flexible than this one. It's the same force. I put the same force on it. Also, these designs, the new designs that I will upload, have this part a little longer, just to make it connect, to make it stronger in this part. I think that one is also have this. I don't remember if I printed or not. Okay, so we are moving forward. Let me get my alpha board, and we will work on wheels. Why alpha? Because I will need to cut the foam. Where I did put it? Did I buried it? Yes, I buried that. Sorry. So we will cut this. Now, caution. This is dangerous, because I will use these knives with the new knife. Always I use the new one. So for the kids, don't do this, because this is really dangerous. I can always cut myself with my small knife, it's not a big deal, but this one will be much more sharper. So take care, and if you want to do this, always get someone older, just keep it safe. Always, I can also cut myself, but that will be just my stupidity. Okay, what I want to do, the fun part is that the screws don't fall out. First of all, it's too squishy. As you can see, this will, if the car is so heavy, this will make a more friction and will make it really hard for the motors to spin. That's why I want to put a foam inside and reduce that that space that touching the ground, because if the space is flat like this, it will need much more power from the motor to spin it. And if the space is like this only, like in bikes, this will reduce the power that motor needs to spin it. So that's the first part. Second part is to glue the tires to the rims, because now they can rotate on the rim if they hit something harder. That's why they always it's good to glue them. Okay, do I have a one side? No, just this side look much better than this side. Probably this is the mold side and this side is on the top. There's no hole, so I may drill one hole. Why I want to drill a hole? Because if I glue the rims, there will be trapped air inside. If I still want it to move, there is good to have a small hole just to let the air out. So I will need to do that for sure. Now about the foam, let me check. If I remember, it was like this. I may be wrong. Let me see. It's everywhere. And that should be just fine. So I have no mathematic or any scientific way to determine how long, how big I want them to be, but the best part is to just move it around. This may be way too small. So as you can see, I'm missing a small part, but still that I think that should work. Okay, so it's this. Yes, that should work because it's ending in here. So I may be able to use this one also. Let me see that. Yes, so I can cut it like this, and that should be fine. So as you can see, the most simple, sorry, I have full hair on it, so the simple solution is just to measure it like this. There will still be damn hairs, there will be still some air inside, but now I know I can cut it like this. There will be still some extra, some extra long, so I have a extra that I can cut. Now I need to think how I want it to be, how high I want it to be, because I will need to, wait, where is my ruler? So it's going up about 1 centimeter should be enough. Maybe one, no, I think that's 1 millimeter. I need to measure it from this this corner in here, this edge, and measure it to the middle. I could 1.5, but that will be much bigger. It still should be enough, about the 1 centimeter. Let me see. That's why maybe quite not enough. So this is the hard part. I need to find out what I want it to be. The 1.5, maybe I can make it 1.5, because if I made it 1.5, cutting it will be much more difficult later to cut it to 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter. So it's 1, maybe I can use the inches. Half of an inch is much better. So half of an inch, and in here 1.5 of a half centimeter is, so 1 inch is much more easy probably to, yes, half of inch is much better for me. So this is like I said, there is no mathematics in here. I'm just taking some measures and just finding the best position. Okay, so let me see. I think this one is quite new. Need to lock it. Like I said, kids, just be smart with this, and just let someone elder to do this. First I mark the cut on each side, then now this will be quite hard because I have inches on only one side. I think I can do it like this. This is really annoying, hard to. I just mark it like this, so no big deal. Okay, 1 minute, I'll take the better one. This ruler is my for just cutting, because all the markings just wash out. So now I'm using it just for the cutting, and now I just cut it. Wait, I think this one is sharper. So this cut may not be the perfect, but it's enough to use it. Now wait, I want it like this. I want it like this. I think I want it like this. Oh, that's quite perfect. Okay, so now I stuff it inside. Okay, so that's a bit not enough, but still maybe work. And this side is the better one. In here. Let me get another wheel. As you can see, this one is taking all the way and this one is not, so that's much better. But I still may cut it like this to get more length. That will be much better, because it's did not get inside fully. So okay, so let me cut the same length as that one, but on the longer side. So if will probably need a longer, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it's just half of it. Okay, so I think that should work. I will extend a little bit more. Okay, give me some time. I will just cut 6 parts and we will see how they hold. Okay, so I cut them. Here is the longer version. They could be a little bit longer. As you can see, there is still small gaps, so this one's longer than my ruler. One moment. So this one's 70 centimeters, probably about 19, maybe 19, maybe 20 centimeters will be perfect, but I can still use it, so that's not a big problem. Let's see now how they there will be no difference between the small ones. Yes, now they are much better than the original. Okay, so here is a wheel. Let me get it to the side. Sorry, I hit the camera. Here's the compare. It's the same force on both. As you can see, this one doesn't drown like the one on the right. Sometimes they are much better, but the thread is not too deep, so they will not catch even if they are set like this. That's why I wanted to have it less squishy than this, because this is just ridiculous too soft. Now this one is much better than that one. So let me just drill a hole. I think I will make maybe 2 millimeters, maybe 3 millimeters. Just somewhere in the center. I may use this part in here. Maybe no, I can use it because it's in between, and it's much better market. I will use the 2 millimeter drill, then I will use a 3 millimeter just to make the hole larger, and I will drill it on all. I will put the foam inside the other ones, and will get back to you to show you about the last part. Okay, as you can see, I did finished. So I drill out the 2 millimeter hole, and I will leave it as is. I don't want any bigger. Again, remember that one side is always not pretty one. The other side is always much better, so I'm putting it like this, going around to make sure to have it inside. On this side, just squish it a little bit to have it spread around. And now the next part. So I have my CA glue. This is the old glue that I use. I just putting on a new needles, normal needles for those injection plastic things. So now I will glue the wheel to the rim. Be aware, because it's a CA glue, it's it's gluing quite fast, so you need to be quite quick on this. It's about if I remember 5 seconds. Also, this may not look too good. I'm not interested in super cool looking. If there is a spill, you may try to wipe it, but that may not end up good. So this may ruin a little bit the cool look of the wheels, because there may be some stains of the glue, but I don't care about it. If I'm able to open this, oh, god damn it. Okay, so I may not be able. Okay, give me a second, I will take this and try to open it. Okay, I have just a new needle. I will not try to open that one. That's why I use needles, because I can always switch it out. First, let me get it tightly. First, I need to get some glue out. I need to make sure there's glue coming out. Okay, I have some glue. The needles are not the best for this job, but it's still, and I just pour some glue in this. Oops, as you can see, I did pour it out. Now I need to make quick work in here. So this part is already starting to glue. That's why you need to be quite quick in here. I think I put a little bit too much, and this should, now I can just hold it a little bit, but this should they fall inside. This should hold now. If they will not, I will just fix it on the again, and maybe I will get another one and let this one dry. So again, where's the side? Like this. I'm not a pro with this, so this may not be the perfect gluing. Maybe there are some better techniques you can always find on YouTube, some other movies, tutorials how to do it the right way. This is how I do it. Let's put it like this, put it like this. So this one should be glued. It's holding. Here it's a little bit not holding. Oh, it's holding, but a little bit. This is how I do it. I will now let them dry, and I will do the other side, and we will get back with another step. Okay, so I did glue all the wheels. They may not look perfect, some of them already, but they are glued. You may not hear it. Let me try to hear that. That's the air coming out of the hole. Without that, it will be sealed and it will work like a real wheel. So that's why it's always a hole inside to let the air out and let the tire work. Okay, so I will not put it now, because now I will work on this guy. First of all, if someone is interested, it's a World Peacekeeper figures. There are 1/18 scale, and this car is 1/16 scale, if I remember, and this figure is too big. That's always the same problem with all the WPL, JJRC cars. These figures are always too big. That's why, because there is not much space in here for the legs. So I will take out the one leg. You just need to take out this part, I don't know, nail it's called. You just need to push a small screwdriver in here, bend it outside like this, and then you should be able to wait a little more. I need it. Come on. Mostly I don't break it. Sorry, I'm out of the camera. Okay, I have it now. Still part inside. Like this. This part you will not need, because this figure will not fit inside. So we set it like this, just to not be able to see it from on the outside. And let's see if he will fit in there. I need to see, like this, and look where the leg is coming out. As you may see, the leg will not fit inside. So the most simple solution is to take it out like this. I may No, I may not, because I will not need to cut it in here. I know when there are doors that can be opened, it's a real big pain, because everyone will see this cut leg in here and a space in there. I can try to take just the foot out and see how that will work. Wait, I need to do it on the inside. I hate when that part left there. Oh, come on! Don't have time for this. Wait, let me get a tweezers and get it out like this. Come on, cooperate. Okay, so now this guy have one leg longer, one leg shorter. Let's see. It is looking a bit better than without a leg, so I think I will keep that like this. Now I will need to set the hand, and if I can close it. Oh, sorry, it's the one with broken closing mechanism, so I'm not able to close it fully. I will work on that later, but this should work fine. The doors doesn't seem to hit it. No. And as you can see, this figure is sitting in there like this. I need to arrange the hands now. The problem is that I would need to take this part off, but on this Fayee each part is holding by a minimum of 8 screws, so this will take me about 2 hours to take it off. I can only take this door off to have more space to get it inside, and that I will do later. Now the simpler part is to just use a hot glue and glue this guy to a seat behind him. You just put glue on his back and put it on the seat, then you can work with the legs, and actually that's all. So I will now hit the gun. I don't know if today I will show it, then I will put the wheels on and show you the finished product, because this door will take me a bit much more time, so I will not probably do that today. I will need to make this new lock from a piece of metal just to be able to close it for pictures and like that. I never open those. I don't use it. Oh, the wipers work. Okay, so let me work on this figure and I will show you the finished product. Okay, so this is almost ready car, but first of all I want to say sorry, because on the last scene I did forget to turn off my background music that I listen. I just listen to chill out music just for a relax, and I did leave my cooling in a room turn on, so apology for that. I did just forget to turn it off like when I'm filming. Now the second mistake that I made, I did by accident put this axle wrong, so I needed to disassemble it, just take it off from the leaves, rotate the axle and put it back. I did check it 3 times, but that's why I'm quite interested why I still did put it back. So about gluing wheels, as you can see, there are still some small white marks, but I think I can just use a wet sponge or anything like that and wipe it, and that should come out. Also, I did not put the doors back. I have it in here just because I will need to work on this lock, and I wanted to show you how this figure is sitting in there. There is just hot glue behind on the seat. You can see it a little bit in here. I try my best to put hands on the wheel. The right one is holding the wheel, and the left one is just next to it, because it's really quite hard to get the angle to hold it. Of course, the right hand has the sticking out pointing finger, but that's just for the gun, and I'm not able to do anything with that. So mostly you will see, let me get the doors, mostly what you will see is just this, so that's completely not a problem. You will just see something like this, and oops, from the front is just like this. So it's not probably completely in the middle, but I need this side to be flat, just to be able to shut the door and still keep the figure. Now I can show you how it's working. I will use my weigh scale to show you how the locket differential work. So if you wonder why I did lock it, just because if the car will try to go on this wheel will stuck on it, and the full power will be transferred to the other wheel that will not be able to get on it. That's why it's always good to have locket differential. So now let me turn on the remote, let me turn on the car, I can, as it is here, and look at this, and you can see there's no problem getting on anything. Wonder if I can get on a high piece of wood I have in here. Let's see that. I need to hold it. Yes, no problem. Also the rear. Yes, as you can see, that fixed all the problems, maybe not all the bad parts of this car. And now I will need to just recenter the wheels. I see, need to trim it a little bit to the left. Yes, like this. Of course, I will need to test it on the outside. The last part that I will not show on the camera is just the doors. I will get a piece of metal. I will grind this to be flat probably, and I will put a piece of metal in here that will be angled like this, and that when I shut the, let me take it to the side, when I will just shut the doors, it will be wedged like this on the part inside. So when I pull it out, the metal part will just spring a little bit, and when open, spring back, and that should work. I will use probably a resin glue that will hold it, and this should fix the problem. Then this car will be ready. Of course it's now ready, but if I'm not able to close these doors, it's not ready. I also need to try to rotate this leg. Oh, maybe I'm not able to do that. Let's do it like this. Okay, so that's all. I will put in the description link to this car if someone will still want it. It's worth it because the ESC is really well made on this car. As you can hear, that means there is full range. The Dumbo RC ESC have the same range, so it means that the motor getting a really low voltage to start it all low RPM. I need to wait, throttle trim. Yes, now it's in the middle. The throttle trim is trimming it to the middle, so I have the full range to the front and to the rear. I really love this car because it's well made, it's big, it's heavy, and it's much better made than the WPL or JJRC. Only MZ is close to this car because MZ is also well made, but this one is the next level of car. So that's all for now.